Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable. I actually like how these seats make it so I can't lean back, and just to relax.
Yeah.
I like how it has that pillow right there, and I get, so it keeps me really locked in.
I got one word for you. Intentional. Actually, no, Dr. Manning had a better word.
Deliberate.
Deliberate.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It's his favorite word.
Yeah, that's good. I like that a lot. What is up, everybody? This is the Harris Investment Group podcast. Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
The HIG Podcast?
HIG Podcast.
Getting higgy with it?
Yep.
Higgins for any Magnum PI fans out there. We're coming from you from the Harris Investment Center in Provo, Utah, the heart of Provo, kitty corner to the temple. It used to be the Wells Fargo building, Wells Fargo Center, but recently, about a year and a half ago, Jason Harris bought the building and pretty much has been renovating the whole thing. First floor is almost done. Made it the Harris Investment Center. So my name is MattyP. I am here with my good friend, Bronson.
Hey, guys.
Bronson Kaufusi. And this podcast, we're actually pretty excited about it. We're here to talk about a lot of things investing. So we have a lot to cover, a lot of good stuff to talk about. And I'll give you a little bit of my background, and then let's go to your background.
Okay.
My background's not very exciting. I'll tell you that. It's not.
It's exciting, everyone.
I've had a lot of different jobs in marketing and public relations, in the gun industry, gun firearms, health and wellness, beauty, a lot of marketing and advertising. So I was kind of new coming into the investment world and just had my mind blown with what you can actually do with money, how you can invest, how you can make money. And so that's my background.
I love that.
It's boring. I told you, man. I told you it was boring.
Well, I'm the same like you. I'm just like you. Yeah, I was blown away by what you can do with money as well. I have the same background.
There's a lot, right?
Yeah, there's so much.
There is so much. I had no idea. All right. For those of you who don't know Bronson Kaufusi, he's a master chess player. Actually, he probably is. He's a master at everything, but that's not what he's known for. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your past, Bronson? A little bit about who you are and what you've done and what got you here.
Yeah, sure. So I come from a football family. Dad came from the island of Tonga, started playing football, used it to get into school, got scholarships and ended up going to the NFL. And he was with the Eagles. I was born in New Jersey. And then my dad got into coaching. So started coaching at University of Utah. So we moved back to Utah. Then he started coaching at BYU. So Utah for almost 10 years, BYU for almost 20. I ended up going to BYU, studying analytics and playing football and basketball there. Then I got drafted in the NFL. And I was drafted in the third round, went to the Ravens, played there for a few years, went to the Jets for a few years, and then I was with the Packers. And while I was playing, I got super interested in investing because, like most NFL players, you're forced to. that bridge is coming. If you are an NFL player, you will face investing, and I think that's where it all started for me. Just not knowing enough and wanting to know and having the kind of the want to.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it all started for me in the investing space.
I think you brought up a really important point, is not knowing enough. And I think that that's important because whether you've played in the NFL, whether you have had a lot of different jobs not in the investing world like me, no matter what your background is, there comes a point when you realize that you don't know enough. And realizing that you don't know enough and that there's actually a lot more that you can learn with investing, with making money, that's an eye-opener.
It is.
Regardless of your background, the stuff that we have here, the stuff that we're going to talk about, is going to be relevant. It's going to be stuff that you're going to want to learn, listen to.
Yeah, and you have to, I think one of the coolest things about getting into that space is you can start now. Like, it doesn't matter that you didn't start or haven't started, or, it's not about what you don't know. It's about what you will know. And having that mindset of, I know there's a lot I don't know, but I'm going to start right now.
Yeah, and when does that door close?
Never.
It's
always open.
Unless you close it on yourself, unless you don't want to learn more, then it's never going to close. So But that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that door opening, how you can keep that door open, or how you can walk through that door.
Yeah.
Like regardless of your background, regardless of your past, we're going to be bringing in a whole lot of really cool people that you're going to want to hear from. We're going to cover all the basics, all the foundational work of investing and move on from that. And there's a lot to learn. There is a lot to learn.
So much. That's why it's awesome if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Hey, you are now on the trail.
Yeah.
You're on the trail. You're on the path.
You're taking the first steps.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's what you got to do. So what we're going to be talking about here, just to give you a brief overview, we're going to talk, of course, investing, but we're going to talk about ideas, investing terms, strategies, concepts, different thoughts. We're going to talk about how you can make your money work harder for you or make it work for you. If you don't even know that concept yet, your money can work for you. Your money can make money for you.
Knowing that it actually can and it works.
Yeah. But there's different ways that you can make it work for you. And we're going to talk about how you can make it work harder for you.
You have to put it to work. I think that's one of the big things is, especially for me, like as an NFL player, you know, you know what you do well as an athlete, but then when you're just kind of flung into this whole business space and investing world, it's like, wow, I work hard on the field. And while I work hard on the field, the smart players that are really onto it, their money's working just as hard. And it's awesome to see that. And you can tell that they just, honestly, they were just around the right people. Like that is what it comes down to. Like if you're around the right people that are, you know, having these conversations, I mean, that's what set it off for me. I was just having conversations with some of my teammates that were in the investing space while they were playing, and it just kind of blew my mind. And I was like, well, I'm a smart guy. I can figure stuff out. I'm willing to put the work in, just like I put the work in on the field, and I'm willing to go and meet people and learn. And that's what really sets it off. And that's why it's so cool. Like, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you do, everyone can win. Mm-hmm. And it just starts with the want to, I'm going to learn.
And I think you brought up another really, really great point that I think is worth repeating. It's being around the right people. That's what this podcast is going to be. We are basically bringing the right people to you. We're going to be bringing you the people who have experienced that success, who understand these terms. We actually have a couple people here. Kyle and Jesse both are great at giving advice and advising with anything investing, right? Any investing terms, they can help you out with that. But what we're doing essentially is just giving you our experiences. And some of our guests that you will be able to hear from, we're going to have Jason Harris on here regularly. Obviously, This is his building. This is the company that he accidentally started, but very intentionally brought to this point. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Jesse Yates and Kyle Turner. Both are on our investor relations team. And Matt Denning, he's a regular here in the office as well as on this podcast. He has a background in...
He was on Wall Street for over 20 years.
Yeah. Risk assessment, right?
Yeah.
Is that what he did?
Risk assessment, risk management. Oversaw large funds for a long time. He's very experienced, and I love listening to him because, man, his knowledge goes deep. And because of his history over like the last over 20 plus years on Wall Street in that financial district, I mean, the wealth of knowledge that he can bring to the table. Oh, it's fun to listen to him.
Yeah. He's like an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Like better than Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Like it's not just pretty accurate. He's the encyclopedia. It's all very accurate. By the way, I don't know, like obviously you can hear our voices in these headphones.
Yeah.
Your voice is like making me super calm.
We're putting you into Zen right now.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I was wondering, Bronson, if I can ask you a couple questions.
Yeah.
So what we do here at Harris Investment Group, we have 3 or 4 different areas that we really focus on. But as of late, there have been 2 that have been very prominent in our investing strategies. One is multifamily real estate. Mm-hmm. What exactly is multifamily real estate?
So multifamily real estate is where we take multiple units, right? So, I mean, back in the day with Jason Harris, he started out with 10. I mean, actually not with 10. He started with fourplex and then he grew it. But as long as you have multiple units, and we run what's called the BRRRR method. So we are actually going in, fixing up the properties and then going and selling them.
The BRRRR method, AKA value add.
Value add, yes. And so multifamily, it's an awesome strategy because it's a hard asset. And what a hard asset means, it's something physical. We can see it, we can touch it, right? Which is awesome. And real estate is just a great place because it's a hard asset, but it's also, we know before we go with multifamily. That's one of the most important things that drew me to multifamily real estate was we can go look at an apartment complex and say, hey, if we do this, and this, value add, meaning we are going to add value to the building through making the floors better, making the walls better, painting it, doing these different, adding more amenities, then we can now charge X amount for rent. Now, what that means is as we charge more for rent, the total value of the building goes up. So that's what I mean by before you go with real estate. And I think that's important because, if you go and invest in a company like Apple, you don't really have a lot of control. You don't know before you go. There's people doing it all. So that's where the difference between something like that versus multifamily real estate value add, where we're just going in, making things better, raising the rent and overall price of it. And then the method we run is we're all about growth. So once we take it to that point where we can't do anything else, we can't paint any more walls, do any more floors, we go and sell it and move on.
It's pretty cool. Okay,
Yeah.
So number one, multifamily. The second thing that we've been working a lot with lately and has been the topic as of late is gas stations and truck stops. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what those are and how we approach those?
Yeah. So we have this multifamily strategy first that is more about growth, because when we go and buy a multifamily apartment complex or something, the money's tied up because it's going all into fixing it up and all the renovations. So it's more about growth, right? Meaning, man, we're going to be able to get really strong returns, but the money is illiquid, meaning you can't just go and grab your money out and it doesn't kick off as much cash until enough renovations have been done. Well, with gas stations, it's a different approach, I would say similar but different strategy. We use gas stations as a way to capture a few things. So it's another hard asset, which is awesome, but we also capture solid returns for sure, but you get cash flow day one. Now that's different than the multifamily. As well, you get stronger depreciation. And that might open up a floodgate when I say that word.
Which is an important topic that we are going to cover a lot.
Yeah, we'll have to cover that one later. But pretty much depreciation helps you as far as your tax strategies and tax liability. And gas stations give great tax benefits, stronger than multifamily. And so what's unique about Harris Investment Group, which I love, is we have this growth model over here with multifamily, and then we have an income model over here with the gas stations and truck stops. And so we're able to, for about the first half of the year, do direct syndications, meaning people can come and invest directly into one-off deals. And then for the second half of the year, we do a fund where we take gas stations and we take multifamily and we mix them together. And it's an awesome asset mix because you get kind of the best of both worlds now. And I think that's what's so valuable about what Harris Investment Group does, where there's multiple strategies being played, each with their own kind of flavor, but the recipe, they work well together.
Yeah, they work hand in hand very well. They both complement each other and pick up where the other may lack.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's kind of neat seeing a fund go through the process of day one to the end, right? Because you kind of see like this scale where you have multifamily units that, we generally purchase distressed units. So rents are down, maybe the complex isn't looking that great. And then we have the gas stations, which are cash flowing on day one. So the gas stations kind of work to offset, the lower income that the apartment complexes or the multifamily are generating. And then as the fund progresses, those scales balance out to where at the end, all the multifamily apartments and complexes are producing money. And the gas stations, they're still cash flowing, but they're more there initially to help offset that in the early stages and to create that loss, that depreciation, the phantom loss.
Yeah. It's such an amazing strategy.
Yeah. Really cool. Lots of concepts that we're talking about here. Concepts that, I think Jason could speak very well to, and Matt and Jesse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you.
Yeah.
I'm just the marketing guy.
You know what, for me, when it comes to multifamily gas stations, now these are just two real estate strategies within a huge sleeve of real estate. There's so many different strategies out there that we could dive into on the commercial side, right? Because even within commercial, our multifamily value add fits in there. And when you hear commercial, it's like, oh, okay, that's apartments. There's, even big, like the building we're in right now, there's like so much that goes in it. But we are so, I would say, so unique, and it's so, such a deliberate real estate play and strategy that you can really dive into the details of it, and it gets even more interesting. Yeah, I think that's why when people, it takes a minute for people to, probably multiple times, to hear the strategy of multifamily gas stations, cash flow, depreciation, how it plays within the overall scheme of a person's or family's or just overall portfolio.
Right.
Because we play a very important role within a person's investment strategy, and so we're just an awesome option for that space.
Yeah. And it does take a lot of introductions or hearing about it. Yeah. It's funny you say that. I've always been skeptical with a lot of things, investing and money. Over the last year, I've seen over and over and over and over again this strategy work and pay out and generate results that are just mind-blowing. So the concept of making your money work for you is cool, but being able to see it work harder has been just amazing for me.
Oh, yeah. Seeing it work harder.
Yeah.
And you know what's even better? What I love about Harris Investment Group, everybody here, is it's so cool to see it work harder, but it's even more cool when you get to understand the why behind it's working harder. That's the superpower, I would say, of everyone here. Is they're willing to teach you, and you're able to learn it.
And that's why you actually picked Jason, right? That's why you met with a lot of different investors, investing groups.
Yeah, so when I was playing, I saw these teammates doing incredible business, and I just wanted to do the same. I just didn't know where to start. But I know from football, in order to be a great football player, you got to be around other great players and get mentors and people to teach you. And so that's what I've done my whole career, is find an older player to help me. Well, that's the same thing I did with real estate. I'm going to find someone who's more experienced, has an awesome track record. In football, it would be like a Pro Bowler. Like, who are the Pro Bowlers in the locker room? Who are the Hall of Fame guys in the locker room? Let me go hang out with them. Well, it's the same thing with real estate. Who can I go and hang out? Who can I listen to? Who can I surround myself with? So I talked to a lot of different people, and it was all about education. Exactly what we're doing right here, right now. And those who are listening, I just wanted to be around the right people. And so I found Jason, and this was about 6 years ago. And I loved the way he taught and how he clarified for understanding, how he broke down something very complicated actually and made it very simple. Yeah. Which is a strength of his for sure. And so I told him, if I invest with you, I need you to teach me as we go here. I met with him probably the most any investor's ever met with him before. I met with him like 8+ times and had to meet with multiple people. But I just wanted to be smart. I'd never done this before. I was new and just wanted to make sure. And you're never going to make 100% sure. But you can do everything you can as far as like straining an opportunity, and I wanted to strain it hard, right? And so that's one of my big things when it comes to investing is I'm going to strain it as much as possible, because anytime you invest, there's always risk involved. And so you're doing everything you can to limit risk and do your due diligence. And so with Jason, I strained him so hard, and poor guy. And eventually it got to the point where he's like, hey, I'm going to have to take, he had a deal actually for me, and he was going to take it to somebody else. And I said, no, I'm going to do it. And he was like, okay. And we did our first deal, and man, I'm sure we'll cover it later, but I just had such an incredible experience of him keeping me on the email threads, meeting with me in the off seasons, taking my calls, text messages, and just bringing me along, because I learned so much through that experience. And it was just such a unique thing because, I mean, yeah, I was an NFL player, but I was also consuming all this knowledge through investing experience in real estate to the point where I understand it now. Like, and that risk that I had, that feeling of unknown before, it's gone down just because I've gone through that experience and see how it works.
Yeah, and having somebody who's willing to teach you, that's a big deal for me. It's a big deal for my wife as well. And I can tell you, like, Jason's time, it's tight, right?
Yeah.
He gets asked to speak on multiple occasions to very large groups. He knows what he's talking about. People seek his guidance, and he does such a good job with that. But he will also take a minute to talk with me whenever I've had a question, or to talk with my wife.
That was something really interesting to me, actually, in my experience. Is Jason was like, I went to the first meeting, and it was just me and him, and he was like, hey, where's your wife at? And I was like, oh yeah, she's doing this and this today. She's like, next meeting, I want her here. I was like, okay. Yeah. Just because he has that understanding of, like, you know, as for families, like, hey, you're going to invest. Investing is just not a single person game. Mm-hmm. It's a total team effort, totally. and it's a family event, honestly. Yeah. Because the whole family is putting that money to work to create more opportunity for your family. And so he knows that, and that was really cool. Yeah. So I just had to add that.
No, it's great. And that's, you know, it's not just us. Like, I've seen him do that same thing with multiple investor partners that have come into the office, with people who have questions, you know, reach out on Instagram or send emails. Like, he cares enough about what he does, and he's smart enough that he'll take a minute to teach you what you want to learn. Yeah. Or he'll take a couple hours, even on vacation.
Yeah. It's honestly because it's true passion. Yeah. Like, it's not work to him. It never has been. And so when he talks about it, it's hard. Anyone you talk to, especially when you are looking at, you know, partners or people that are going to be running deals and different things, one of the big things I look for is passion. Like, what's their passion towards this? Yeah. Like, do they really love it? And for me, that's something that really took me away and blew me away when I met Jason. Was he is obsessed with this. And
that's important.
He's obsessed.
That's important because when it becomes at that point, you know that they're doing it more than just because it's their job. It's part of who they are. They're not doing it to pay the bills, but it's woven in their DNA.
Yeah, they love it. Yeah. Like, really, really love it. I think that's funny, like, because in football, it's like at the NFL draft, you go meet with all the different teams, and all the different teams are asking you questions, and one of the questions they always ask you is, like, do you love the game? Like, do you really love the game? Like, because they gotta know, because you're gonna go do a lot of hard things throughout your career, and if you don't love the game, I mean, when things get tough, or honestly, it gets tougher when things get easier. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's important, is like, man, you've never made it. And someone that's really passionate about football, that's like the greatest players, they just have never made it. That's how they feel. They're always hungry for, you know, learning more. And that's one thing about Jason. He's always wanting to learn more. Yeah. He's always wanting to improve. It never stops. And those are the people I like to be around in terms of, you know, the investment space and just overall life.
That's important. You open doors in order to open more doors. Yeah. You don't just open a door and stop. Yeah. So, yeah. And the reason why we talk about this, the reason why we bring up Jason and his passion, is because he knows what he's doing, and it's at the heart of what we do here at Harris Investment Group. And it's going to be the heart of this podcast. It's really what drives this company, what drives all of our investors to stick with us, and it's what attracts investors to come and talk with us, which is really great. It's really awesome. So going into our next episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about returns. You've heard of a high yield bank account, right?
Yep.
High yield bank account. I remember when I got my first high yield, it was paying at, well, actually I had a money market account that was paying at like 1%. And then I had this other opportunity that was paying at 4.5%. And I was like, 4.5%. I felt like, I opened the door to wealth. But here's the thing. And it did return a lot better than my other account. But when you invest with an investment group, with Harris Investment Group, with a target of 20% return, you compare that 20% to the 4.5%. And I felt like I was rich at 4.5% high yield. But then looking at the possibility of 20%.
Yeah. Alternative investment is truly how people become wealthy. Private investments, all alternatives. So like a Harris Investment Group. I mean, there's other groups out there, but on the private sector, that's really where people grow their wealth. It's true.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to talk more about that next time. One thing that we'd like to do here, we really like to send an invite out to all of our listeners. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you want us to cover, or if you have any questions about, Bronson's NFL career, or what shoes he's wearing today, he's always got some really sweet shoes.
What shoes you have on today?
Yeah, yours are cooler. Those are Jordan Highs.
Yeah.
Kelly green and white and black.
Yep. You got it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hey, listener questions, send us an email, contact@harrisinvestmentgroup.com. In the subject line, just put HIG Podcast, HIG Podcast, and we will field all those questions and answer them. So, yeah, next time, high yield return versus real estate versus gas station and what those returns could look like. We're going to kind of be pairing them head to head and see which one wins.
Cool.
Thanks. It's not the high yield.